If I asked you to close your eyes and picture a Muslim, what would you see? Maybe you'd think of someone wearing a robe in a desert, or someone from a movie. But did you know that there are 2 billion Muslims in the world? That is 1 out of every 4 people on the planet. Because there are so many people, there are also a lot of things people get wrong. The first big mistake people make is thinking that all Muslims are Arabs. When people think of Islam, they usually think of the Middle East, like Saudi Arabia or Egypt. But here's a cool fact. The country with the most Muslims in the whole world is actually Indonesia. Most Muslims aren't even from Arab countries. There are millions of Muslims in India, Pakistan, Africa, and even right here in America and Europe. Islam is like a big, colorful blanket made of many different cultures and languages. Just because someone is Muslim doesn't mean they speak Arabic or live in a desert. Speaking of deserts, have you ever seen a picture of a soldier with a sword in one hand and a book in the other? Some people think that a long time ago, people were forced to become Muslim at the point of a sword, but that's actually against the rules of the religion. The Quran, which is the holy book for Muslims, says very clearly, there is no compulsion in religion. That's a fancy way of saying you can't force anyone to believe something they don't want to. Historically, most people became Muslim because they met Muslim traders and liked how honest and kind they were. It was about being a good neighbor, not about fighting. Now, let's talk about something you might hear a lot, how the religion treats women. Some people think girls aren't allowed to go to school or have jobs in Islam. While there are some places in the world where leaders make bad rules for women, that's actually about local culture or politics, not the religion itself. In fact, Islam was one of the first religions to give women the right to own their own money and choose who they wanted to marry, rights that women in other parts of the world didn't get until much later. The very first university in the world was actually started by a Muslim woman named Fatima al-Fihri. The Prophet Muhammad even said that seeking knowledge is a duty for every Muslim, which means both boys and girls have to go to school and learn. Another thing that confuses people is the name Allah. Some people think Muslims worship a different god or maybe even a moon god because they see a crescent moon on some mosques. But Allah is just the Arabic word for God. It's the same God that Christians and Jews talk about. If you were an Arab Christian, you would use the word Allah when you pray too. Muslims also love and respect many people you've probably heard of, like Noah, Abraham, Moses, and even Jesus. In fact, you can't be a Muslim unless you believe that Jesus was a very special and important teacher sent by God. You might have also heard a scary-sounding word, jihad. On the news, it's often used to mean war. But in Arabic, jihad actually means to struggle or to try your best. For a Muslim student, jihad could be the struggle to wake up early for school when you're tired, or the struggle to be nice to someone who is being mean to you. It's about being a better person. While there are rules about defending yourself if you are attacked, the religion says you must never hurt innocent people, children, or even trees and animals during a fight. People who do bad things and call it jihad are actually breaking the rules of their own faith. Some people think Islam is a new religion in places like America, but that's not true either. Some of the very first people who came to America from Africa hundreds of years ago were Muslims. They have been helping build this country for a long, long time. Today, Muslims are your doctors, your mail carriers, your favorite basketball players, and maybe even your teachers. One of the most important things to know about Islam is that it's built on 5 simple pillars or rules. It's like a house that needs 5 big poles to stay standing. These are believing there is only one God, praying 5 times a day, giving money to help the poor, fasting, not eating during the day for 1 month called Ramadan to understand how hungry people feel, and going on a trip to a city called Mecca if you are able to. These rules are all about being disciplined, kind, and thankful. Sometimes we see things on TV that look scary, and it's easy to get worried. But remember, there are 2 billion Muslims. If you see one person doing something bad, it doesn't mean everyone else is like that. Just like if one person in your class breaks a rule, it doesn't mean the whole class is bad. Most Muslims are just like your family. They want to be happy, do well in school, and help their community. The word Islam itself actually comes from a word that means peace. The way Muslims greet each other is by saying Assalamu alaikum, which means peace be upon you. It's a religion that teaches people to be clean, to be honest, and to take care of their parents and neighbors. So the next time you hear something about Islam that sounds strange or scary, remember what we talked about today. Most of the time, the scary stuff is just a big misunderstanding. The world is a very big place with lots of different people, and the best way to make it a better place is to learn about each other and be friends.